Hello and welcome to AIMS 2025 Curriculum Night. My name is Brittany, and without further ado, let's begin. Like I said, I'm Brittany. I teach English and history here at AM High School. This is my 4th year, and I'm loving it every single day. Part of why I love teaching and being here is the ability to get to know people's dreams and goals and to actually help them achieve it. And getting to work with people and get to know them is a lot of fun for me, and I just love that. Fun fact about me, I had my first child back in May, so I am a new mother, and this year my goal is balance between work and family and really figuring out how to be a working mother. Before we get into my classes, a quick note about grading and attendance. Attendance is important and expected. I get to see you once a week for most of these classes. I really want to use that time. In the event you are not able to make it to class, whether you're sick or out of town or whatever, everything is on Canvas. Please check there and then bring any questions to me. And then grading wise, there's 3 different, either your assignment could be missing, I haven't gotten it yet. It could be satisfactory, meaning you turned it in and it is above 80%, you got an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, you're good to go. Or if it's below 80%, I may hand it back to you for corrections and ask you to fix up 1 or 2 things or add some more detail, and then we can move on from there. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to ask me at any point. I'm happy to explain. Now, without further ado, we'll jump into the classes that I teach. On each of these slides, you'll notice I have included a more in-depth look at the major projects and units and things we're going to be covering. If you would like to look at any of those at any point, feel free to pause and just kind of look it over. So U.S. history is a year-long requirement for juniors. We talk about U.S. history. How have these different things that happen throughout time impacted Americans? We'll start with the Progressive Era. By the end of the year, we're just going to go as far as we possibly can, hopefully up to Reagan, pretty consistently up through the Vietnam War. World history is the same thing, but for sophomores is a required year-long class. We are going to talk about world events. Much earlier in time, we really start with like the Renaissance type time period. And once again, we go as far into the present as we can, as far towards modern day as possible. For both of these classes, we're looking at informational texts. We're looking at forming a position or an opinion on an issue, using information to back that up, and for world history, you're also getting a little bit of geography as well. English 10 is another required class for sophomores. This is another year-long class. This one actually meets twice a week rather than once a week. The goal here is really to expand students' interest in literature as well as prepare them for the SBA. A number of novels and dramas that we are going to be interacting with are listed up there. It's your quintessential language arts class, right? We're reading books and short stories and nonfiction pieces, and we're learning how to interact with them. From here, I've got a couple of different English electives. These are for after they've done their required English classes. They get to kind of choose some specialties that interest them. This first one is my newest one. It is science fiction on their schedules, but the full title, at least for me, is Sci-Fi and Fantasy World Building. It is a semester-long elective class where we are focusing on looking at science fiction and fantasy stories with the goal of identifying the strategies and things used by authors to create new worlds. And then we're going to take those strategies we're going to look at and we're going to apply them ourselves and write our own science fiction fantasy stories. Monsters in Literature is the other elective I'm teaching this semester. It meets on Thursdays. Same thing, we're hoping to expand interest in literature, but this time we're doing so with monster stories. So Frankenstein, Dracula, stories about monsters. What can we learn about ourselves by studying stories about monsters? This class, mythology, I'm not teaching this semester, but I will be teaching it next semester, so I figure I'll throw it in here anyways. Same thing, we are looking at expanding interest in literature, but this time through mythology and different myths from a variety of cultures, including Greek, Egyptian, Babylonian, and Chinese. Looking to make connections across cultures, across times, across space. And my final one, this is modern fiction. It is a semester-long independent study, which means that I do not meet with students for this. However, they are scheduled into weekly labs with me so that we can go over their current progress. Totally on their own, they're in charge of reading 4 books and creating 4 book reports based on those books to earn this credit. Okay, so after all of that, I know that was a lot of information. Once again, you can pause a video at any point to read any of those slides and some of the more information that is in there. But in general, this is just kind of a quick look at what to expect out of a year in my classes. And that's what I've got for you. So on this slide here, I've got my communication information. So if you would like to, if you have questions about anything, if you would like to talk about anything, or for me to elaborate on anything, you can reach out to me via email, via phone, or on Canvas, all present here. And I tend to be pretty good at responding within 24 to 48 hours. If I take longer than that, then feel free to reach back out, poke me, and I will get back even faster. So with all of that out of the way, feel free to reach out if you'd like to talk. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and come out for curriculum night. Thank you so much for being part of the AIM community, and I look forward to having a lovely year with you all.